song, pretty lady. Born to be angry, grip of the vice, click on the trigger, girl. Sip hard on ice, it's about time. Best to the right, you better know. My heart's your, go baby go. It's about time. I'm on a tightrope. Don't go. It's about time. It's about. All the years of paradise, paradigms paralyze us. You're crazy. All the cards you organize, shuffle twice in front of my eyes. Everybody needs what's so cold, girl. Lights, love, go, baby, go. It's about time. I'm on a tightrope. Don't go. It's about time. It's about.
Well, here we are in the rolling hills of Virginia for the fourth round, already 1/3 of the way through ATC 15. This is the second sprint challenge of the season, and it takes place on Virginia International Raceway, a location very familiar to the series. It has seen its fair share of winners over the course of our 7 races here. Most recently, Michael Polasek. But before that, Francois Schenck, Logan McKenzie, and then Micah Hendricks. For a while, it was Micah Hendricks' stomping ground. Today, 2 25-minute races, a 13-car invert for the second race. The sun is out. The track will be a little toasty. Nothing too crazy, but the tires will not be cool. That is for certain. Let's take a look at today's starting grid here in Virginia. Up front, it's the pole man himself, Michael Polasek, taking a pole position 3/10 ahead of Matthew Mayer with a 1:57.37. Then McKenzie, Hendricks, and Saridovic round out that top 5. And then Aiden Kale making his first appearance in the Alpha Touring Challenge, slotting in 6th with a great qualified performance from him. That puts him ahead of Schenck, Liebold, Lazan, and Mitchell. In the Delta class, Dave Thomas took Delta pole all the way down in 16th. The Alpha class did fairly well in qualifying this week, and this is evidence of that. The Delta pole sitter all the way down to 16th. And then you have Smith and McDonald down there alongside, and then John Daniels, his closest championship competitor, in 19th. Fuada Rijla 20th, Rakowski 21st, Saab 23rd. You have Bowman and Akers a little further down there in the order. Sierra and Darnell, those 4 Alpha drivers on a row there on the right side of the track to start. Then you have Murray and Lynn rounding out the top 30. And this is a big field today. Rick Meyer starting 32nd. You have Nick Beta and Tyler Long here. And you have Corey McQueen making his first start in the series. And at the back of the order in 42nd. 4 drivers did not set a qualifying time. And that is your starting order for the race. Let's get down to the grid where we are currently waiting on a couple of drivers to pop up. There is your pole sitter, Michael Polasek, and there is his closest competitor, Matthew Mayer, starting P2 today. What can he do? He's shown he's a bit closer to Polasek this season than McKenzie in qualifying. Can he make good on it in the race? It is now time. We await the green lights here at VIR. They are revving up, holding them for a long time, and they finally get away, and Polasek is going to immediately come under some pressure here from Matthew Mayer. They're going to race side by side down to turn 1 as the rest of the field fans out behind them. Oh, and I think Polasek's going to be able to hold this one, but only just. And now McKenzie slotting in behind. Waj has taken a position there. He's jumped. Oh, a lot of people have jumped Aiden Kale. He's dropped to, well, Aiden's lost one position. It was Micah Hendricks who lost out big, actually. 6 spots lost on the start. That benefited Lazan, Schink, and Suvidovic. Now Polasek still leads the field. We have a little bit of side-by-side action back here just behind Aiden Kale as Zachary Liebold pulls ahead of Damon Mitchell. Polasek leading them up to the S's for the first time today. Looks like a fairly clean start from the field. Only one car a bit out of position. That is Aaron Law. Looks like he got kicked out at the start and is trailing the field by a bit. Into Oak Tree for the first time today, and they all run very close to each other here. And Polasek is now running them all the way up to Roller Coaster, and already that top 7 or so is showing a bit of a gap here on this first lap. Up to the top of Roller Coaster for the first time. And looking back from Polasek's car. And that will wrap up the first lap here at VIR. No surprise, Polasek holding on to the lead, but Mayer put him under a bit of pressure there on that first lap. And now Aiden Kale putting John Lazan under some pressure here into turn 1, but Lazan's going to go for the over-under, and he'll be back around him there. And now Matthew Zepka has gone off, and wow, he's slipping just past our reach. There he is, sitting on the outside of turn 1. He was having to wait for the whole field to go by, and that demotes him 26 places. Checking in on Zachary Bowman and Fuad Al-Rijla, an old rivalry. Bowman ekes ahead in this specific example as those two went head-to-head for the Delta title last season. Behind them are Rakowski and Saab. This is on board with Brian Saab as they travel up the S's again. And just behind, there's another group. This one's led by Cooper Akers. It's got Kyle Murray, Yavi Sierra, Gareth McAllister, and Jason Lynn in it. And now something has kicked Kurt Smith behind all these cars, and it's caused quite a grouping to develop here. And Smith is going to slip behind Daniel Bond. They're both running side by side behind Mark Darnell. Halfway down the backstretch now. Bond's going to have a slight. There's contact. He had an advantage, and now he's hard into the wall. And incredibly hard impact into the tire barrier, and that will end the 611's day here, I think, as the rest of the field's going to go around him. Checking in now on John Daniels. Daniels is up to P2 in the Delta class. Dave Thomas has lost that position that he inherited from Pole, and now more carnage. Yavi Sierra has gone around, and I think Kyle Murray is the other car involved, and they're both going to bounce over to pit lane. And as a result of that, this group now all fighting, and Lewis Gilbert's gonna get spun off here at turn 1. He was in front of Mitchell Rickmeyer battling with JB DeJay, and now kicked off at turn 1. And we have more battles to check in on because Damon Mitchell, Dan McFarland, Micah Hendricks, they're all going at it. Hendricks still trying to recover from the poor start he had. Oh, he gets a little bit sideways there. And looking back now, will McFarland force him to go up the S's too wide? Oh, he tries to keep the nose in there, but Hendricks makes sure to box him out. And at the tail end of this group, there's Mike D'Almeida running in 13th, qualified 14th. Not quite up to snuff with his recent qualifying performances, and now he's buried much further in the pack than he has been so far this season. Michael Polosek still holds on to the lead, but only by 4/10. Matthew Mayer's keeping this one close. He hasn't gotten close enough to attack, but Polosek is having to think about him. And now we got to check back in on that JB DeJay, Jason Lynn, and Nick Beta situation because they're all going around. Actually, that's a lapped car. Or no. No, Jason Lynn, that is Jason Lynn at the tail end. He was just dropping back there, maybe a bad exit out of Oak Tree. Right now, this group is led by Rickmeyer, running 7th right now. He led the Delta class for a sizable portion of the Interlagos race. Lost out on pit strategy. Right now, he is leading this group of cars with his former teammate, JB DeJay, just behind him. And now Nick Beta has to pull onto pit lane. What is this about? Serving a penalty, perhaps? No damage on the car, so perhaps that is some kind of jump start penalty. Looking back at this battle between McFarland 2 and D'Almeida, as Raymond 2 running a little wide on the exit of turn 3. And now, side by side with the 6, he's going to leave the space. And will D'Almeida take advantage of this and go for it up the S's? I think he will. No! Ray tries to box him out, but the 6 is having none of that. And they're going to go too wide. And oh no! D'Almeida backs out of it, and the 96 stays ahead. Close racing between those two. It's allowed the cars ahead to build a bit of a gap. Now looking in on the teammates, Damon Mitchell and Micah Hendricks, as they roll through Oak Tree. Mitchell qualified 10th, and I'm sure he would love to give that back to his teammate, but I think he's going to end up making him work for it. They've got Zachary Liebold ahead. They have Dan McFarland behind. If they do want to swap, they'll have to be careful about it, but I think for now they're just going to continue as they are. Mitchell has been doing a good job this season of hanging out around the edge of the top 10, and he's shown good pace at a couple of venues. More often than not, due to other things happening to the Croc team, he ends up just ahead of if one of their scoring two. He ends up always being one of their 2 scoring drivers, week in and week out. Now Mike is looking to the inside here. I think this may be the swap. And into turn 1, there they go. And behind, well, actually, McFarland's going to try and follow, and he does. So Mitchell loses out to Hendricks and McFarland. And behind, Mike D'Almeida was looking for a move on Raymond 2, but into turn 1, it didn't work. We're staying here with Mitchell and McFarland as Mitchell tries to reclaim what McFarland snuck away from him. And he cuts ahead. Oh, he can't get all the way ahead. Now there's a little bit of contact, and Mitchell's going to go off course, and now he'll lose more positions. Raymond 2 and Mike D'Almeida go through on the Karak Promotions driver. And the Audi is demoted to 13th, which would put him on pole position for the invert race, but still not exactly ideal. Behind him is your Delta leader, Chris McDonald. McDonald's been leading basically this entire race. We haven't really got a chance to talk about Dave Thomas, but he got shuffled all the way to the back because he had to pit to repair damage picked up at the start of the race. So your current Delta Championship leader. There he is. He's in 35th right now, 16th in Delta class. He's just trying to recover what he can to be back to gain points for that second race. Back to the battle for the overall lead. Polasek and Mayer staying close. They've pulled out a bit of a gap to McKenzie and Waj and Schink. So you've got two distinct lead groups up there, but nobody has really done anything or made any kind of moves. They're all a bit stuck here in this slipstream train. But this is by far the closest that Mayer has been able to keep to Polasek at the start of a race, and they're going flat out. There's no saving here. This is a sprint, so Polasek genuinely cannot detach. Now, Zachary Liebold under pressure from Hendricks, who is already caught up to the Formula Llama driver, and that will be no problem for the 73. Going around the 72, I guess showing the superiority of that number. We got to look back at the Delta leader, though, because we didn't talk about the two Delta drivers closest to him. That's Daniels and Rakowski. Rakowski, I think, having a bit of a career season so far. She has been hanging out. She's been in contention for pretty much every single Delta podium there or thereabouts, and is in contention for another one. Now, DeJay making a move on his former teammate, Mitchell Rickmeyer, and that will swap 6th place in the Delta class. And now, Rakowski's had an issue. I think she may have picked up a slowdown. I think that would explain why she's slowing down in that particular part of the track. That allows Fuad Original to take that podium position that she was coveting. And that helps out John Daniels, who now has a 2-second gap to the car behind and is free to chase after whoever may be ahead, which right now is Zachary Bowman and then Connor Acatella, and then you get to Chris McDonald. So he has a sizable lead here, 4 seconds. For McDonald, this would be a fantastic victory because nobody other than Dave Thomas and John Daniels have won a Delta race yet this season. Now, this wouldn't be McDonald's first career victory, but it would be his first this season, and he has been doing decently enough in the points that he could, with drop weeks, position himself to fight for the Delta title. Back to the battle for P2. It looks like Waj may be having a bit of a look on McKenzie here. Halfway through this race, McKenzie going defensive, and Waj trying to go around the outside through turn 3, and he has held that, staying even in a nose ahead of McKenzie, now trying to take P2 from him, and he will. The former champion passing the 6-time champion with ease, and he moves on to the podium. When was the last time Waj Savidovic picked up a podium in the Alpha Touring Challenge? He's made a couple of appearances over the last few seasons and come close to some fourths. I'm not sure when the last time he actually got a podium was. And this would... it'd be 3 or 4 seasons, probably. Now we have... it looked like Micah Hendricks went wide there for a moment. Lazan caught up and also got around Zachary, or did Lazan get... Lazan got caught by Hendricks, excuse me. Hendricks went around him. Now Aiden Kale is next. Kale, running where he started, a great first appearance in the series thus far. He's got 1 second between him and the former 2-time champion. Behind this group, that is Mike Diamita. He's fairly close to Raymond 2, but still can't get around him. 2's being helped out because he is trailing Dan McFarland. McFarland can't break the toe. He can't get away. He is catching Zachary Liebold, but that doesn't exactly help Diamita at the tail end of that train. Heading into turn 1 on this lap, Polasek getting put under some pretty immense pressure here. Mayer still hasn't been able to find any kind of in here, and I think that is a problem of the track almost, is both the straightaways are almost long enough to be able to do something, but generally you come up just short You really have to outdrive your opponent in the slow bits, the windy bits. And it can be really tough to hold that gap and drive through your opponent. Now it looks like, some front end damage for JB DeJay. He's now under pressure from McAllister for this P6. McAllister, ooh, does he go for a move? He does not. But McAllister's already inserted himself into this fight by going around Rickmeyer. Oh, back to the front. Aiden Kale has just gone off track at that same corner that Hendricks went off track at, I believe. And now Hendricks has closed to within a half second of the driver. And I think this will probably be the last car that Hendricks can catch in this race because they've got a pretty good gap. There's Francois Schink. 5.5 seconds up the road. And I think your top 5 is your top 5 unless something calamitous happens. Here's a small battle that's developing. Brian Saab is stuck in between two Alpha drivers. Now, what does he do? Is he faster than Darnell, or does he hope that Darnell can carry him up to Rakowski and maybe even Al Rijla? There's still 10 minutes left in the race. Meanwhile, Saab's teammate, Delta Championship leader Dave Thomas, still in 35th. There he is. So this is not going to be a good one for his championship hopes. Hendricks making a move on Aiden Kale into turn 1 and immediately finishing the job. And that will be P6 for the 73. And now someone has gone off track, and that's Zachary Bowman. He went wide at turn 1. That's going to cause him to drop behind John Daniels. And he stays just ahead of Fuad Rijla. Well, these two cannot escape each other sometimes, it feels like. So, I don't know if that really helps Chris McDonald, but he has a 5-second gap on Daniels. So really, this is his race to lose, even though there's only one car between him and second place now. Hendricks, he may struggle to lose Kale here, but as long as he doesn't make another mistake, he should be able to hold on to P6 for the rest of this race. Looking back to the battle for the lead, there is Michael Polsek, and he has a much bigger gap on Mayer than the last time we checked in, almost 7/10. And he is threatening to fully drop the 12 out of his slipstream before the end of this race. Mayer has done a valiant job of holding on, but I think he's finally beginning to lose touch with your championship leader. Oh, and Lewis Gilbert. Whoa, where is he? He has gone very wide of that corner. He's done some lawn mowing, and he has rejoined on the track. And that was, wow, that was just a whole lot of grass and a car. Very difficult to ascertain exactly where he was with that camera shot. Let's check in on Mark Darnell and Brian Saab. They've lost Cooper Akers a little bit, but they are not gaining on Rakowski. So I think Saab is going to get a little impatient here. And out of hog pen, he's going to look for a move. Darnell had a slow exit. So the 52 looks to the left side, sweeping around the front stretch though. He's not going to be alongside him into turn 1, and Darnell's going to stay ahead. Oh, look at that over-under, though. A very nice move by the 52. It slots him right back into the fight, and now he's going to finish the job, and Darnell, nothing he can do there. Brian Saab moves into the top 20, hanging on to a 5th in the Delta class. Here is another fight that's beginning to develop. John Lazan and Zachary Liebold have not been able to break away from McFarlane and the group that trails him. In fact, they have lost ground to them. It's becoming a 5-car battle here for 8th. And let's also consider the invert for the second race. 13 cars. So if you are in the top 13, that means that you get inverted into 21st to start the second race. In 13th right now, we have Damon Mitchell. He's running just behind this huge group of cars. Here's an interesting scenario, though. If McDonald wants to really get in this Delta Championship fight, he can get past Damon Mitchell, be the only Delta driver in the invert, start at the front, and maybe bag some big points and a double Delta victory. That's sort of the Delta dream in these sprint challenges. You separate yourself from the rest of your class in the second race, and then you just bank the points, as many points as you can. Now, Lausanne. Oh no, it's Zachary Liebold who has to go defensive into turn 1, and McFarlane's going to hang it around the outside. And this is going to invite Raymond 2 to get involved as well. And don't forget, Mike Diomita still stuck at the tail of that group. Aiden Kale has not dropped anywhere close to off the back of Micah Hendricks. Mitchell Rickmeyer trying to reclaim this position from DeJay into turn 1, but he's going to lose out there. And now McAllister and Clark behind will be looking to bank from that. On board with Clark. You see Mitchell going for a very big dive on DeJay, but just can't get alongside on the exit. And from here, it's just tough to see, tough to hit your marks when you're following someone through this section. Oh, and you see Clark took a lot of that curbing, and he's going to have to pull off to the left and serve a slowdown because that was technically a cut track. He'll lose out to Tyler Long and Matthew Zepka. And then Jason Lynn is going to have to come to a halt in the S's. Nowhere to go there. Now, Raymond 2 is under some pressure from the 6 this time. He had a look, but nothing came of it that go around. One mistake from anybody in this group, and this whole order could change. On board with Zachary Liebold. He's being helped out a bit by this slipstream he's getting from John Lausanne in front of him. It's a 7/10 gap, but it's enough to keep McFarlane from really threatening him here. And into turn 1, they're going to have to stay as they were. Now, Dave Thomas, he has made some moves. He's gone past Mark Buley and Kyle Trost and Marcel Thomas. He's climbed up to 30th in the lead of this group, so scrounging together some points. Rick Meyer again going at DeJay into turn 1, and behind them, McAllister and Long scrapping. Rick Meyer's going to lose out there, and McAllister stays ahead in the battle behind. Up front, now this is very close, and into the S's. They have nowhere to go, but it's very tight in this group. McFarlane basically pushing Liebold, and he really tries to get his nose in there and scare him off his line, but he just can't do it. Through Oak Tree they come. And Will McFarlane has to be close enough to try and move this time. Into Roller Coaster, he will pull to the left. Everyone behind will be licking their lips, knowing this is the moment. Michael Polasek will get the white flag on this lap. Into Roller Coaster, McFarlane pulls ahead. And that will be it for the battle for P9. Now the order has changed. Will 2 be able to take advantage? Will the Almeida be able to take advantage? Damon Mitchell has pulled up to the back, and he has to be careful because Chris McDonald will want that invert pole as he runs on the tail end of this group. This is almost the largest group on track. There is one other fairly large group, and that's the one that's led by Darnell and Saab and Akers. And that is this group right here. We've got those 3, and then you have, actually the group is back here. It's DeJay, and a move being made by Jason Lynn in the background on Spencer Clark. And that will pull him into 10th in the Delta class as they head down into turn 1. And they are all taking the white flag as well. Michael Polasek still only has a half-second gap over Mayer. He never pulled away from him. This has been Mayer's best performance thus far. Oh, and now Micah Hendricks has lost out to Aiden Kale. I think he had to serve a slowdown, and Kale's going to move back into 6th place and pass the 2-time champion. Aaron Law and Kyle Murray take the white flag, and Murray will eke past Law here for 16th in the Delta class, going into turn 1. And looks like he will hold that position. Svitovich looks like he's going to hold on to this podium. McKenzie's been all over the back of him, but nothing has worked. Same goes for Mayer on Polasek. It has been a flawless drive from the 1. He's been under some real pressure today, but he did not falter. He will take victory in the first race here at VIR today. Michael Polasek will win, with Matthew Mayer coming home P2 and Wojciech Svitovich. Welcome back to the podium. He takes P3. And further in the field, on the exit of the final corner, look at this, Raymond 2 and Mike Delmeda going side by side, and I cannot believe how close these two are. Down to the line, the 6 will hold on. He got around the 96 in the end, and just behind, Chris McDonald wins his first Delta race of the season and thrusts himself right into that title fight. John Daniels holds on to P2, a big result for him, and Fuad Al-Rijla P3 on the podium, with Rakowski just off of it, and Dave Thomas, there he is. He's going to come home in 30th. That wraps up the first 25 minutes of racing here at VIR. Another 25 minutes to go. It will be Damon Mitchell and Raymond 2 starting on the front row here at VIR. No Delta drivers in the invert, so it's going to be a scrappy race. It's going to be difficult for the fast guys to get up to the front. Let's see how they do. We will be right back. Well, it is time for the second race of the day here at VIR, and we have a all-alpha invert led by Raymond 2 and Damon Mitchell. They sit on the front row for the final 25 minutes, and we are about to get started. We await the green lights. The final race of the day here at VIR. And we are a go. Mitchell gets a great launch, and it's going to be Raymond 2 who comes under pressure heading down into turn 1. Oh, and Mike Delmeda is going to try and eke ahead here, and in the background, a whole lot of scrapping. McKenzie, Shink, Svitovich, Kale, Mayer, and Polasek all fighting for these positions on the first lap. Mitchell will lead out of the first sector. Polasek and Matthew Mayer going side by side. Polasek will get ahead of Mayer. Chris McDonald holding on to his Delta lead thus far. Now Mitchell's going to lead us up the S's. A fairly clean first lap in this race as well. Looks like it was just Matthew Zepka that lost out, getting kicked to the back of the field. Mitchell will get a good exit out of Oak Tree, and it looks like he's on to lead the first lap of this race. Behind him, the entire field awaits. They're already going to get a bit strung out here. Into roller coaster for the first time. Oh, Mitchell Richtmeyer and Jess Rakowski are going to wide out of roller coaster, and it looks like Rakowski has one out in this particular situation. We jump back to P5, Dan McFarland. He moves to the left side of the track here, and I think he has a slowdown. A lot of cars going by the 23. Hendricks, Schink, Savidovic, McKenzie, and here comes Aiden Kale, and here comes Michael Polasek. Oh, he tries to tuck in, but he's going to lose out to the one as well, and he'll be just ahead of his teammate, Matthew Mayer. And will he have to give that one up? Will Mayer be saying, hey, I need to go after Polasek? I think for now they're going to run as they are. Oh, they all split out, and Mayer does go for the move. It's a swap. Acatella trying to take advantage, but he's going to lose out in the end. Close racing, close moves here. Here's your Delta leader, Chris McDonald. He runs behind that whole group, just behind Acatella, just in front of Zachary Bowman, who is no threat to McDonald's Delta lead. But Brian Saab and Fuado Bridgelet behind are, along with John Daniels, who is in a position to score a lot of points. His paint scheme reminds me of Eddie Wallace 23, I think it was. Let's look back to the battle for the lead, because Mike D'Almeida on the exit of Oak Tree, he has gotten Damon Mitchell. And on the run down to Roller Coaster, it's going to be Mitchell fighting for his life in the battle for the lead. He uses that Audi power and the side draft to get back alongside the 6 into Roller Coaster, but Mitchell's going to go wide. He loses control, and he's going to go across the entire circuit here, really, as he oh yeah, this is going to be a bumpy ride. Goes behind the marshalling station and rejoins at the back of Hogpen in 12th. And that puts him out of contention for his first career win. But we still have the top 3 filled with drivers that have never won a race, and Liebold is one of them. And Liebold having to go defensive on Lazan behind Aiden Kale, losing out to Polasek. And ahead, Lazan going for the move on the 72. Let's see if he can finish it. A good exit by Zach, but now an entry to the next corner. He's going to have to yield to the 77, or will he? He keeps the nose in. Oh, this is a tough section to go too wide in, and now they're both going to lose out. Everyone's slowing down, and Micah Hendricks roars onto the scene. Savidovic roars onto the scene, on board with Francois Schink. They're going up the S's too wide. Oh, a little bit of contact. A little bit of more contact. Waj is not giving this up. And now trying to slot in just behind Schink. Schink's losing control. He gets a bit wide. Back onto the track, and he kicks out McKenzie. And McKenzie slides off track. And P2 in the Alpha Championship is going to slide all the way back to 24th. And I'm not sure why Kyle Murray is got kicked to the top of the leaderboard, but this is why he's dropping. He has ended up, how has he ended up here? He must have gone to the top of the leaderboard because he cut so much track and then had to stop over here. That is insane. While all that was happening, there's Brian Saab making the move for the Delta lead. Chris McDonald is right there behind him, but when was the last time Brian Saab won a Delta race? He currently leads this in the 52. It would be Chase Sim Racing's, it would be his first victory under the Chase Sim Racing banner, but McDonald is immediately saying, I'm not going to give this up. Pulling up the left side of the Elantra. Into turn 1 they go, side by side, and Saab's going to send it in hard. That's going to allow McDonald to execute the over-under, and behind there's Carnage, ahead there's Carnage, excuse me, Damon Mitchell and Zachary Bowman coming to blows at turn 1. That may have also involved Kale and Acatella, but now he slips behind Brian Saab and Chris McDonald. Oh, more contact between Bowman and Kale, and that's going to kick Kale all the way back to 13th. And that's got Chris McDonald, the Delta leader, hard into the wall. A crash that also collects Cooper Akers. That is a disastrous wreck. That gives Brian Saab a commanding lead in the Delta class. John Daniels also made it through that wreck somehow. And he doesn't have any damage. I watched him slam into a car and drive straight through that wreck, and he's got not a scratch on it. Behind him, you actually have Logan McKenzie going around Fuad Rijla. The field is all shook up right now. There's McKenzie making that move with McFarlane in front of him. I'm not sure how McFarlane ended up back here. If he had another incident or if he went off track. Down the straightaway, McKenzie's going to pull a little further ahead. He's flashing somebody in front of him. Maybe McFarlane. And they pull into Roller Coaster. Your race leader is still Mike de Almeida. Raymond 2 is behind him. Neither of these drivers have ever won an Alpha Touring Challenge race. If you combine their total appearances, it's over 150 in the series. Michael Polasek looking for an outside move on Francois Schenck. And Mayer tried to take advantage of that and put a nose in, and it ended up not working out for him. Schenck has some left rear damage, and now he's lost Waj ahead, and that's going to allow these guys to... Oh, no, we have problems behind. It's Fuad Rijla going off track at turn 1. And while that's happening, Polasek trying to work his way around Schenck, and these two are touching, a lot of touching, and Schenk's going to have to finally yield as they get through the first sector and head up to the S's. And for Matthew Mayer, he's going to be disappointed that he didn't get to take advantage of that. Now, Savidovic, he's going to be looking for a move on Liebold. This will put him into the top 5. Oh, going a bit wide into the grass. Oh, and now, McKenzie has taken a shortcut. He's also gone behind a stewarding stand. Not sure what started that, but he cut all the way behind the marshalling post. He basically skipped the right-hander at the top of the S's and then the left-hander that comes after, and he hasn't lost really any time on McFarlane. Behind, Dave Thomas continues his recovery drive, going for a move on Mitchell Rickmeyer. Francois Schenck losing out to Matthew Mayer at Roller Coaster. And now coming down to Roller Coaster, you have McFarlane going for a move on Rakowski. And Rakowski's going to make that one a bit harder than he wanted. And now McKenzie's going to get involved. And they're going to go too wide going down to Hogpen. And McKenzie has to back out of that one. Behind, Rickmeyer does get passed by Thomas, also gets passed by Lynn. Lynn moves up into the top 5 in class. Now, around the outside in turn 1, Savidovic showing his experience here as he sticks to the side of the 72. And now, fully ahead. Will Zach go for the over-under? Oh, Waj going as late as he can to go for the defense there. But he got it done. Oh, Jason Lynn not happy with somebody as he drops behind Mitchell Rickmeyer and JB DeJay. This is a large group of Delta drivers right here. All in a row. You've got Tyler Long at the end of that group. Looking at your Delta leaders here, Brian Saab, John Daniels, and then Jess Rakowski. And Rakowski, she's under a bit of pressure here, and this could be a problem because the race is only half over, and Dave Thomas is closing in. Oh, and her and McFarlane both go wide, and now McKenzie's going to go around the outside of McFarlane and into Oak Tree. Can he go around the outside of Rakowski as well? He keeps the nose in on the 999, and he will get this move done, and that is a very opportunistic move from the 04 to recover here. Now McFarlane's going to tuck in behind the 04 and see if he can benefit. Who will he get slipstream from? Whichever car's closest to him. He can't decide he's got to decide who he thinks is going to get through the corner. He backs off a bit, and he's not able to fill the gap McKenzie left, so he's stuck behind Rakowski. this is helping Dave Thomas out as he catches that group and closes in on a Delta podium after being at one point all the way back in 35th place. Back to the battle for the lead. Luzon has not made any inroads on Diamita or Raymond 2, but Micah Hendricks has climbed up to the front here, and Savinovic has climbed up to the front. And if either of them get around Luzon, Diamita and 2 will be in trouble. 13 minutes to go here at VIR. We have 2 drivers up front scrapping for their first career victory. They both have long and storied careers. Raymond 2 has a couple of career podiums. And Mike Diamita picked up his first podium last season. Matthew Mayer trying what he can to get around Polasek there. Can't do it. Mike Diamita also has won 2 Delta championships. So he would, if he wins this race, he would only be the 3rd Delta champion to ever win a race. The other 2 being Connor Acatella and Jacob Wally, who did it before he became Delta champion, before the Delta class even existed, if I recall. Either that or he was not in the Delta class at the time. Brian Saab's gone wide, and he was wide on the left side of the track, which makes me think he lost it at the top of the S's. And now, John Daniels in a premium position to strike back at Dave Thomas in the battle for the Delta lead. Micah Hendricks trying to go for the Alpha lead by getting around John Luzon. That's step 1. Luzon doing everything he can to box out his old rival. And the 2 are going to go side by side through Hogpin. And Hendricks will back out. He'll manage to slot back in there. Now DeJay and Rickmeyer going at it again. And these 2 cannot stay away from each other today. And I think DeJay has cut ahead of the 89 there, and he has. Oh, Matthew Mayer's got a move working on Polasek, but the outside of turn 1, it's tough to do, and he's trying to not expose himself to Francois Schink, so it's almost like he's just trying to slot in without actually attacking the 1, it looked like, and still just struggling to close off Schink, but he finally gets it done. This battle could determine who wins this race as Luzon continues to keep 3 championships worth of driver bottled up behind him. And now, Lee Bold and Mayer going side by side. This is going to allow Polasek to get away a bit here. Looking back at Matthew Mayer. He has Schink on his tail, so he can't afford to scrap too much here. Luzon coming through the top of the S's now, holding on to that podium position. And there's now a 1.7 second gap between him and your leaders. Diamita really pushing it on the exit of Oak Tree. Matthew Mayer finishing the job on Liebold on the exit of it. And behind, McKenzie and McFarland have gone around Brian Saab. Now Saab is fighting back against McFarland, and this is going to help John Daniels a good bit. And that may have just been him fighting back out of necessity there. We got to jump to P3 though, because look at that. 2 cars side by side. Oh, a little touch. This time Hendricks is on that left side of the track, and Luzon going wide. Nothing he can do as Savinovic takes advantage, and these 2 are now free. 2.3 seconds, 9 minutes left in the race. They've got to go chase after the top 2. And there is your top 2, and what a top 2 it is. These are both drivers who I would love to see pick up their first career victory. And it's a shame that they have to fight each other for it. And they got to be careful here to not lose too much time. Otherwise, neither of them may get it. Now Daniels is going to have McKenzie go by him. Oh, McFarland missed the corner there. He almost runs into the back of the Delta leader. We almost had another Delta leader get taken out by an Alpha driver. And Saab has not lost too much ground to Daniels here. If he can let McFarland back by fairly easily, he could still be in contention for this win. There's the other Formula Llama driver, scrapping with Fuad Al-Rijla. This is for 11th in the Delta class. Al-Rijla pushing a bit wide. And Daniel Bond is going to get ahead there and into 11th in the Delta class. Back to his teammate at the top of the S's. He's got Francois Schink all over the back of him. Into Oak Tree. Does the vet try something wily here? No, he focuses on the good exit. And now McFarlane's gone back around Brian Saab. Gareth McAllister losing out to, or it looked like he was trying to move on Lewis Gilbert there. Couldn't get it done. And through the final sector we go again. D'Almeida holding on to this lead. Raymond 2 has not detached from the back of him. Hendricks gained 3/10 on the leaders on that lap. At that pace, he will not catch them by the end of this one. But the moment they start fighting, I mean, they could lose a full second. So now Luzon's under some pressure from your defending champion. And Michael Polasek's going to move to the right side of the 77 into turn 1. Luzon not going to fight this one too much, I think. Defending on the outside line. He will hook it around. And, oh, he'll keep the nose in, maybe? No, he's going to slot in behind the one. Also coming down the straightaway, Dave Thomas made the move and took that podium spot from Murkowski, but now she's coming back for it. And into turn 1. This fight's not quite over yet. Thomas is on the preferred line here, but Murkowski could force an over-under move, keeping him pinned to the inside of the track, but she can't quite get to his left side, and she'll have to stay behind him. So Thomas is onto that Delta podium, and his recovery drive continues. Checking in on Micah Hendricks, he has to worry about Waj behind just as much as Mike and Ray ahead. Oh, and a couple drivers going wide. Leibold and Schink both pushing it there. They push it again on the exit of Oak Tree. The off tracks being taken there everywhere. Oh, Gareth McAllister is out. He was off track, and he ended up having to tow it back to the pits. Francois Schink in the slipstream. Oh, he goes for a move into roller coaster. And that is a very deep lunge, but he's made it stick, and Leibold can't box him out. The former champ is going to get this one done, I think, as they approach Hogpin. He does get ahead, and that is 8th place for him. 5 minutes to go. 2 drivers, only 1 race win available. And the 6 has crossed the line in the lead of this race once again. Raymond 2, you see the difference in the lines they're taking through that corner. Now Hendricks gained another 2/3 on that lap. Michael Polasek has caught the back of Waj and Micah. McFarlane is behind Saab again. And Saab, almost, there's nothing he can do to fight for the Delta lead because McFarlane keeps ending up ahead of him, then behind him, then ahead of him, then behind him, then ahead of him. Hope, you know, if you're Saab, you hope this will be the last time, but it may be too late at this point. McKenzie's long gone, so he will not be a factor. Looking back at the S's, this is a career drive from the 6 and the 96. These two have been flawless in this fight for the lead. There will only be 2 laps remaining after this one. We're watching Mike D'Almeida. He exits Oak Tree with the lead in hand. Oh, and Daniels, what has happened? Your Delta leader's off track. Heavy damage. And Brian Saab may end up back in the lead of this one. And John Daniels' bid to get a ton of points has failed. The 52 is back in the lead. Dave Thomas is P2 and Jess Rakowski is P3. Mike D'Almeida followed very closely by Raymond 2 on the exit of Hogpen this time by. He'll have to go on the defense 2 laps to go. Both of them will know this. Oh, he has a peak. De Almeida has to slow it up on the apex, but nothing Raymond 2 can do that time around. Behind, the order stays the same, but Hendricks did gain a half second, almost a half second on the leaders. Actually, it was a half second on that last lap. So unless Waj starts attacking him, there's still a chance here. I think Waj is waiting for the last lap to confirm whether or not they can actually catch these two. And if they can't, he'll go on the attack. Brian Saab now has Dave Thomas right behind him. Can Thomas somehow win the second race of the day here? And can Saab pick up his first career victory in some time? He has a 7/10 advantage, and both of the battles for the lead are coming down to the wire here at VIR. I've just gotten off track notifications for almost everybody in the top 5. And out of Oak Tree, Raymond 2 is going to have a great run here. Eking up to the back of the 6 just before roller coaster. He knows he has to make a move. He knows he has to do something. On the brakes, he looks left, but he can't do anything to force the 6 off his line. Behind them, Mayer making his way around John Lazan. And Savinovic made a move on Micah Hendricks. So he jumps onto the podium for the second time today. And that move firmly puts this race in the hands of either Mike De Almeida or Raymond 2. 1 lap to go at Virginia International Raceway. One of these drivers, barring catastrophe, is going to pick up their first career victory in the Alpha Touring Challenge. Behind, Michael Polasek making a move on Hendricks, and he gets him out line a little bit of contact, and Hendricks will slip behind Polasek into 5th place for now. The stewards will have a look at that one after the race. Brian Saab also leading this one ahead of his teammate Dave Thomas. No matter how they finish, it's going to be a 1-2 for Chase Sim Racing. And what a performance it has been. The first race, Dave Thomas brings home a podium, and Dave Thomas starts up close to the podium and then gets kicked back to 35th. In the second race, they come back and score a 1-2. This is going to be Raymond 2's best overtaking opportunity. Mike De Almeida leads us into Oak Tree. Raymond 2's right on the back of him, but can he get a good exit out of the corner? He has. It's a 2/10 gap. He's so far away from the 6, but you know he has to go for a lunge. The 6 doing everything he can to break the slipstream. We're going to get the checkered flag this time by. Into roller coaster, Mike De Almeida holds on to the lead. Just a couple more corners, and he will have his first career victory. Raymond 2, he's going to come up just short, but it will be an incredible P2 for him. Out on the final corner for Yellow Flag Motorsports, Mike De Almeida wins at Virginia International Raceway. Win number 1. And he crosses the line victorious just ahead of Raymond 2 and Savinovic, who brings home 3rd place. And then Brian Saab out of Hogpen. He is going to bring home a 1-2 finish for Chase Sim Racing, and they're celebrating down the front stretch together. It's an incredible performance from those two, and for Saab, a return to form as he is back on top. And the Delta driver that almost won the Season 10 championship, well, he is back to winning races. There's Rakowski. She finishes P3. There is De Almeida. It was a incredible race from start to finish. Mike De Almeida did everything he could to keep Raymond 2 behind him. I mean, in the end, for both of these drivers. Only one of them could bring home that first career victory. But after so many starts, I mean, this is start 115 for Mike D'Amita. For Raymond 2, it is start 120. So they've been around almost the same amount of time. Seeing them scrap with each other was great. You're seeing him get congratulations from all the people in the series that know him. Teammates. And actually, speaking of teammates, Yellow Flag Motorsport has performed a hat trick. All three of their drivers have picked up a victory so far this season. Before anybody else. Michael Polasek, Connor Acatella, and Mike D'Amita all have won races. And nobody else has. Well, that will do it for the second race here at VIR. Let's take a look at your final results from both races, starting with the first race of the day. That is going to be Michael Polasek, your winner of that race, by only a half second ahead of Matthew Mayer. This track always displaying some incredibly close fights, even if it does cause a bit of carnage every now and then. Waj gets onto the podium there with McKenzie 4th, Schenk 5th. McDonald won the first race in the Delta class with Daniels and Al Rijla on the podium in that one. And then all the way down to the bottom here, you have Sierra, Bond, Smith, and Chang, who I believe did not start. Chang has yet to start a race so far this season. It's been Cooper Akers taking up the mantle for TZR Racing. On to the feature. Mike D'Amita on top by just under 3/10 ahead of Raymond 2. Waj pulled to within 1 second of the duo by the end of the race, and he gets his second podium of the day. Michael Polasek P4, Micah Hendricks P5, and then Brian Saab in 14th overall, first in the Delta class with Dave Thomas and Jess Rakowski right behind. DeJay and Rick Meyer rounding out the top 5 there. In the Alpha class, the championship fight really scrambled by this race. A lot of people taking drop weeks, I think. Maybe not Polasek, but Matthew Mayer didn't have the best performance. McKenzie, you see there, he only got back to P12. So in the end, Polasek's lead is probably only extended. In the Delta class, Dave Thomas, I mean, in the end, this is a drop week for probably Dave Thomas and John Daniels, so this is a good chance for some people to get some extra points on those guys. But Chris McDonald, he won the first race, lost the second race, went head on into a barrier in the second race, and then you have John Daniels, who looked to podium both races, crashing out late in the second one. So Thomas's championship lead did not get hurt too much by that. Speaking of his championship lead, we will be showing you the final, or not the final, but the updated championship picture shortly. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Next week is an off week, so the week after that, Nürburgring Combined. That is your champions pick from Michael Polasek. And we will be running 4 laps of that endurance challenge, 1 pit stop. We hope to see you there. Until then, thank you for watching, and have a good night.